pass, he who is the Father of all, our Lord, and who alone is all, does love to show himself to all. It is not by the place where he may be, nor by the quality which he may have, nor by the greatness which he may possess, but by the mind's intelligence alone, that he does shed his light on man, who shakes the clouds of error from his soul, and sights the brilliancy of truth, mingling himself with the all sense of the divine intelligence, through love of which he wins his freedom from that part of him over which death rules, and has the seed of the assurance of his future deathlessness implanted in him. For in the very life of the eternity is the cosmos moved, and in the very everlastingness of life is cosmic space. On which account it shall not stop at any time, nor shall it be destroyed, for that its very self is palisaded round about, and bound together as it were, by living sempiternity. The cosmos is life-giver to all that are in it, and is the space of all that are in governance beneath the sun. The motion of the cosmos in itself consists of a twofold energy. It is vivified itself from the without by the eternity, and vivifies all things that are within, making all different, by numbers and by times, fixed and appointed for them. Now times distinguished on the earth by quality of air, by variation of its heat and cold, in heaven by the returnings of the stars to the same spots, the revolution of their course in time. And while the cosmos is the home of time, it is kept green by reason of time's course and motion. Time, on the other hand, is kept by regulation. Order and time effect renewal of all things which are in the cosmos by means of alternation. All things then, being thus, there's nothing stable, nothing fixed, nothing immovable, of things that are being born, in heaven, or on the earth. Immovable is God alone, and rightly he alone, for he himself is in himself, and by himself, and round himself, completely full and perfect. He is his own immovable stability. Nor by the pressure of some other one can he be moved, nor in the space of anyone. For in him are all spaces, and he himself alone is in them all, unless someone should venture to assert that God's own motions in eternity, no rather, it is just immovable eternity itself, back into which the motion of all times is funded, and out of which the motion of all times takes its beginning. God then, has ever been unchanging, and ever in like fashion, with himself has the eternity consisted, having within itself the cosmos ingenerate, which we correctly call sensible. Of that deity this image has been made, the cosmos the imitator of eternity. Time further, has the strength and nature of its own stability, in spite of its being in perpetual motion, from its necessity of ever from itself reverting to itself. And so although eternity is stable, motionless, and fixed, still, seeing that the movement of time is ever being recalled into eternity, and for that reason time's mobility is circular, it comes to pass that the eternity itself, although in its own self, is motionless, yet on account of time, in which it is, it seems to be in movement as all motion. So that it comes to pass, that both eternity's stability becomes moved, and time's mobility becomes stable. So may we ever hold that God himself is moved into himself by same transcendency of motion. For that stability is in his vastness motion motionless, for by his vastness is law exempt from change. That then, which so transcends, which is not subject to sense, beyond all bounds, cannot be grasped, that transcends all appraisement, that cannot be supported, nor borne up, nor can it be tracked out. For where and when, and how, and what he is known to none. For he's borne up by supreme stability, and his stability is in himself, whether this mystery be God, or the eternity, or both, or one in other, or both in either. And for this cause, just as eternity transcends the bounds of time, so time itself, in that it cannot have bounds set to it by number, or by change, or by the period of the revolution of some second, is of the nature of eternity. Both then, seem boundless, both eternal. And so stability, though naturally fixed, yet seeing that it can sustain the things that are in motion, because of all the good it does by reason of its firmness, deservedly does hold the chiefest place. The principles of all that are therefore, God and Aeon. The cosmos, on the other hand, in that it is movable, is not a principle. For its mobility exceeds its own stability by treating the immovable fixation as the law of everlasting movement. The whole sense then, of the divinity, though like to him in its own self immovable, does set itself in motion within its own stability. It is holy, incorruptible, and everlasting, and if there can be any better attribute to give to it, it is its eternity of God supreme, in truth itself subsisting, the fullness of all things, of sense, and of the whole of science, consisting, so to say, with God. The cosmic sense is the container of all sensibles, all species, and all sciences. The human in the retentiveness of memory, in that it can recall all things that it has done. For only just as far as the man-animal has the divinity of sense descended, in that God has not willed the highest sense divine should be commingled with the rest of animals, lest it should blush for shame on being mingled with the other lives. For whatsoever be the quality, or the extent, of the intelligence of a man's sense, the whole of it consists in power of recollecting what is past. It is through his retentiveness of memory, that man's been made the ruler of the earth. Now the intelligence of nature can be won by quality of cosmic sense, from all the things in the cosmos which sense can perceive. Concerning this eternity, which is the second one, the sense of this we get from out the sense cosmos, and we discern its quality by the same means. But the intelligence of quality itself, the whatness of the sense of God supreme, is truth alone, of which pure truth not even the most tenuous sketch, or faintest shade, in the cosmos is discerned. For where is nothing of it discerned by measurement of times, wherein are seen untruths, and births and deaths, and errors. You see then Asclepius, on what we are already founded, with what we occupy ourselves, and after what we dare to strive. But to you, O God Most High, I give my thanks, in that you have enlightened me with light to see your divinity.